Hey everyone, it's Jennine, your local realtor here in the Edmonton area. Today I'm going to go over what is happening in the market for September. I realize I haven't been on top of this for the past few months. It has been really busy, both professionally and personally. So I apologize for those that follow along and look forward to these. Be sure to stick to the end because I have a really important announcement, I guess. Something that will affect the market, I think, in a lot of different ways. So stick to the end. You'll want to hear it, especially if you are an investor. Let's just get to it. So before starting, I just want to remind you that this report is about the city of Edmonton itself. It is not focused on the surrounding cities, Sherwood Park, St. Albert, Spruce Grove, Leduc, all those places. We do still work there, however, but this report is just the Edmonton numbers. Okay, let's start with detached single-family homes. So a lot more listings than we have been seeing and less sold. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So in September, you can see almost 1,500 new listings, and there is like a bigger gap between the new listings and sold. So I would say this is one of the bigger gaps we've seen in a while. Comparing it to 2024, the gap is much closer between new listings and sold. So what does that mean? That means we're getting more inventory, less sales, which is resulting in a bit of a price drop. So we have not been seeing any price drops in a long time, especially year over year. I would say at the top of my head, I'm pretty sure this is the first month that we have seen year over year to have a bit of a price drop in quite a long time. So there is a shift in the market right now. Still about the same kind of time frame for a sale. Let's take a look at overall. So 2025, we are the red line. As you can see, we have just crossed over into a 2024 price. So we are still well above some previous years, but you can definitely see a shift, especially in comparison to the start of the year and around springtime. So what is causing this? Well, there's lots of stuff going on in the world. I don't have to tell you about that, but there's also been interest rate cuts and movement. So if you remember about 5 years ago, this is when interest rates were really low. Those people are up for renewal if they sign on a 5-year mortgage term. So now we're starting to see the results of that. A lot more sales. People are getting rid of those mortgages because they're much higher than what they were. With some interest rate cuts, people are kind of feeling like maybe some things are stabilizing, so it's time to sell finally or time to buy. There's a lot of different things happening right now that it's influencing this price. Now, that being said, though, it's not like it's not busy. There are still a lot of people in the market, and if things are priced competitively, we are seeing a lot of action on it. I'm just going to take one of my most recent examples. We were putting an offer on a single family home, and it was priced really competitively. My bulldog just walked down here, so you might hear some gremlin noises. I apologize. I should have kept the door closed, but I'm too far gone, so let's keep going. So anyways, we were doing a offer on a single family detached home. There were 19 other offers on this property. This property was priced really competitively, and it brought out a lot of emotions for the offers, and it went way above what I even expected. So the key is, if you're a seller, price competitively now. There's more inventory to choose from, and buyers are able to pick and choose what they're doing a little bit more. And buyers, don't think that just because the market's softening that you won't run into those situations. It's still really much happening, and especially in the popular price range, which you can see right here. Popular price range still between the 3 to 500,000, even up to 600. 3 to 600, that's the most popular range. So when we look at months of inventory, you can see still in that popular range, there's still not as much inventory. It has went up slightly. We used to be more closer to like 1 month, and now we're like over 2, for example, just between the 4 to 500. And as you get up in the price range, we are well above the 4 months of inventory. So remember, 4 months of inventory or more means a buyer's market, and anything below 4 months means more of a seller's market, and kind of that range around 4 months, it means kind of more of a balanced days on market. We're seeing the days increase. If you've been following along earlier this year, you would have saw most of the days between 20 to 30 days, and now we're crossing over that 30 days. So things are on the market a little longer than normal. So if you're a seller, expect to be sitting on the market a little bit more unless you price it correctly. Buyers, just because it's taking a little longer does not mean they're not moving quickly, especially if it's priced correctly. So how many of them are going at or over list price? Earlier this year, you would have saw these numbers between 40 to 50%, and now we are decreasing. So not as many things are selling at or over list price anymore. Let's take a look at duplexes and townhomes. So remember, duplexes and townhomes, there's 2 types in this category. There's some that are part of a condo board and then some that aren't. Usually the ones that are part of a condo board are a little bit cheaper, and the ones that aren't are a little bit higher. So it kind of does skew a little bit of the numbers, but remember, this is just a very general overview. So let's take a look. Okay, now if you've been following along since the beginning, when my dog walked in here, he's still here. He's now sleeping under my desk. He's a bulldog that snores a lot, so if you hear some snoring, that's him. I don't have the heart to kick him out. Should have put the door should have closed the door before I started, like I normally do, but let's roll with it. Okay, active listings, same kind of thing as the detached homes. We aren't seeing as many sold, a lot of active. Let's see, versus new versus sold. The gap is getting bigger between new listings and sold. Just take a look at 2024. For September, the gap between new listings and sold was much closer. So that is also kind of resulting in this. For the most part, we've been seeing price increase for duplexes and townhomes. This month, it's almost just kind of holding steady, but we are still up quite a bit year to year. So looking at the prices overall, we are the red line currently for 2025. So we are still quite a bit above the past few years, but it is kind of just holding steady. So what's selling? For this price range, 300 to 400 is still the most popular, but also most popular in new listings too. Again, we are seeing inventory increase. We're getting closer to more of like a balanced market instead of just a pure seller's market. And as you get higher in price, it's definitely a buyer's market. Days on market, taking a little bit longer than they used to earlier in the year. And sold at or over list price, again decreasing in this as well. It used to be closer to about 40 to 50%, and now we are more closer to like the 20-25% range that are selling at or over list price. So apartment style condos, same kind of story as the previous 2, more listings, less sold. And let's take a look at the new listings versus solds. So the gap is quite large, more new listings versus how many are actually being sold. Looking at 2024, the gap was a little bit smaller. This is quite normal for the apartment style condos. We did see a little bit of a price decrease, but we're still up year to year. Overall though, the apartment style condos are kind of just holding steady a little bit of ups and a little bit of downs, which is pretty normal for this style of property. And what is selling? Most popular is up to 200,000 in this style. Months of inventory, we are definitely crossing the balanced market into more of a buyer's market in this style. And days on market as well hasn't really changed. It's typically around the 40 to 50 days on market. And not as many going at or over list price, so it usually goes below. And that is pretty much it. But before we go, I want to tell you about something that is going to change the market a lot. And to be honest, I don't know how it's going to go. It could kind of go either way. So come January 2026, they're changing the way mortgages work for investment properties, rental properties. Currently, if you want to buy a rental property and you already have your own property, so that will be your second property, they count your income twice. So you can use your income for your house, your main residence, and then your rental property. Going into January 26, no longer the case. They will not allow you to count your income twice. So that is going to shift everything in a big way. So if you're planning on buying a rental property, now is the time to do it. Before that hits, we'll see how it plays out. Let me know your predictions. I want to hear it. Put them in the comments below. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to help. And remember, this report is a very generalized report. Everything is very specific to your property, your neighborhood, and everything that goes along with it. So any questions, reach out. Always happy to help. Thank you. And until next time, see you.